What's happening, guys? Gonna be live for just a little while today. I'm not gonna be, spending all night. Oops. Not gonna be spending all night here like I did the other night. But this darn thing. I need to get a legit phone holder for when I want to do like live streams and stuff when I'm mobile or what have you. So anyway, guys, last well, let me give it a couple seconds here, make sure that people are able to come in here. Let me make sure that it is set to everybody. What's this? Oops. YouTube changed a few features here. Retouch. I don't need retouch. Anyway, YouTube changed a few things here. I'm not entirely positive. How do I get to my menu? I don't know. Well, I do have a viewer, so clearly I'm able to, people are able to see what's going on. So anyway, what's happening, guys? Welcome to tonight's live stream. I did live stream last week, and I think I might do live stream here and there. Here and there and everywhere, I guess, I suppose. But last live stream, I just vented a little bit of my frustrations. Ended up actually losing a lot of subscribers. Well, not a lot of subscribers. Probably 10 of you guys that actually popped on to catch the live stream after the live stream aired, which is fine. I'd rather have subs that are actually doing something for me than dead subs. A dead sub is basically somebody that subscribed to the channel that has really no intention of, let's say, interaction or genuine engagement or gives a crap about you. And so, it is what it is. It's very interesting. Whoops. It's, yeah, it's been on this whole time. So anyway, so basically, long and short of all of it, I ended up offending some of the weaker, the more frail, tender-hearted people in the audience, which it was, in fact, my entire mission in the last live stream to get people to do something, either sit here and watch me or not. It is what it is. So let's see here. I thought I saw a comment or something come up. Warsaw, what's happening, bud? So anyway, I'm not gonna be live streaming all night like I did last time. I'm gonna be just doing about a half-hour stream, and then I'm gonna go in and go to bed. Got a couple of things that I want to talk about. Just kind of maybe feel the room out a little bit. I talked to a few people over the last week, and just trying to kind of gauge the interest in the firearms community as far as like building and everything, seeing how that's going. And realistically, people aren't building anymore. It's quite a travesty. Not, there are not as many people hopping in to actually build what they buy. The kits that they buy, and they're actually just basically buying a kit and sending it off to somebody to build. So at the end of the day, they really don't have any experience under their belt. It's really no different than if they had just gone out and bought a Wasser 10 or something and, just decided, hey, I'm messing the caboose. Hey, oh, there it is right there. Basically just decided, hey, I'm going to swap some furniture out. So basically there you are with that. But honestly, a lot of times I would recommend that people just, go ahead and do a build themselves. You know, try to get with some of them build classes that are still doing build classes. Nope, that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna have to run all the way around and get a locomotive attached to it. So anyway, basically, it's just I'm running trains too, guys. So I got one of my N scale locomotives out. I've actually got quite a few of them. When you're not buying guns and gun accessories, you can put your money into other things. I got a couple of cars I've been putting money into, just kind of fixing them up. Just kind of been doing what I've been doing. But anyway, getting to the building thing, you know, a lot of people. I've always found it fascinating. A lot of people they'll go and they'll brag up a build that they're wanting to do, and then they'll build on it, or you know they'll have somebody build it, only for them to want to take and turn around and sell the rifle months later, sometimes weeks later, which, you know, I'm gonna make a recommendation, guys. Don't make a habit of doing that if you are gonna do anything like that. 505. Anyway, that being said, it's just, I don't know. Nobody's got any pride in this stuff anymore. It's Perdue, what's happening? Ooh, a Sam 87 or a SA 85. Oh my gosh. I didn't get a chance to read that. Let's see here. Not seeing much building, but I am rescuing a post-ban FEG SA85MS to make them into pre-ban glory with bayonet lug. Oh, nice. I like those. It'd be really nice to see a lot of people actually, you know, investing time into historical arms. You know, one thing that was brought up to me the other day by one of my buddies, we were talking on the phone, and he said, "Dude, the one thing that I don't see a lot of anymore is creativity within the realm." And you know, I agree with him. There's not very much creativity. Everybody's just building just kind of standard, you know, run of the mill, you know, AKM variants, you know, and you know, to the layperson, an AKM is an AKM, right? You're not going to notice any difference, right? But the thing is, you're going to have a situation where, you know, as a builder, you're not really flexing your muscle. You know, when you're just building vanilla AKs, you're not learning about the platform. You're not getting any experience. Basically, what you're doing is you're just slamming together just, you know, regular stuff. It's like, you know, when I was building, I was doing 5.56 AKs. I was doing 5.45 AKs. I was doing short barrel AKs. I was doing long barrel AKs. I was doing all sorts of stuff. Basically, I'm getting text messages too from people. But anyway, basically, you know, nobody is flexing their abilities when it comes to actually building stuff, and it kind of sucks because I know that there's builders out there that really, there's builders out there. Hey, what's happening, Armed? There's builders out there that actually, quite frankly, would do really good jobs if they actually split out into like custom builds and stuff. You know, that's like Perdue. Basically, what he's doing is he's doing restorative work. You know, a lot of people they don't even know the first thing about how to do that, and it kind of stinks because there's a lot of experience to be had in stuff like that, and you know nobody's really exploring those options, which you know kind of stinks, but you know it is what it is. But you know, I mean, unfortunately, I can't really, you know, get involved and show people that stuff right now. But you know, until that day comes again, we'll just have to live with what we got, right? I'm putting train cars back in packages, guys. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Those of you guys who have known me for a while know that these would be gun parts if it weren't for stupidity happening. Nothing I can do about it. It just is what it is. I just have to, you know, wait to see what Illinois does, and until then, I'm maneuvering to get out of the state of Illinois as financially responsibly as I can. But you know, that being said, you know, takes money. You know, that's the thing. If I had a cash infusion of like $40,000, I could really do something with it and get the heck out of Dodge. You know, one thing that was brought up to me, you know, in a couple of my correspondence over the last week, you know, some of my buddies were talking with me. You know, one of the things that I really wanted to do before the ATF really kind of put a kibosh to it was to do build classes. That's something I wanted to do, kind of like Jim Fuller did with his endeavor there. That's kind of what I wanted to do. That's where I was kind of heading, and that's you know, when things kind of started getting screwed with on my end, I really had no options and just kind of had to maneuver into something else. And you know, the overly detailed self-help videos were the next best thing, and you know, it is what it is. I'm grateful that a lot of people actually have been able to, over the years, see those videos and interact with me and get their stuff built, and you know, get problems with their AKs figured out. Very happy that that's happened. You know, that you know, like I said in the last video, it's been really relaxing not having to field questions that frankly are just, you know, it very hard to answer over and over and over. You know, it's like you guys even watch my videos, you know, that sort of thing. But now people are, you know, the only people that really talk to me anymore are people that know me, which is fine. I'm not upset about that. But anyway, that being said, enough with the pity party there. So I got this train car the other day, right? And I was not sure what this thing could be. Skill issue, yep. Let's see here. Mark T. Demo, what's happening? Skill issue. Anyway, what does that look like, right? That's a very interesting thing. Anyway, I wasn't sure what the heck this was supposed to be. You know, model railroading stuff. So anyway, that was supposed to be 1970 National Christmas Tree, traveled by rail and survived at least 2 derailments before arriving at the nation's capital. So this is a model. This is a model of a Christmas tree for the nation. Let's see here. I gotta rewind a little bit. A bunch of people have been talking. Let's see here. That's a good one here. Armed Ape asks, thoughts on end to Ukraine war and possibilities of end to ammo sanctions. Where there's ammo to be made, there's money to be made. Honestly, man, that's a tough one. I've been thinking a lot about that. If these people can, I mean, it's fascinating watching world leaders that have their heads so far up their ass, you know, that should know better. I mean, hey, they're not the ones out in the fields dying, right? Da, 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 da. I don't know what's the map. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Okay, how many of those trains are still alive? Did you buy new ones? Most of them had their wheels eaten by you know who. I don't know what you're talking about, bud. Anyway, let's see here. Anyway, as far as the Ukraine thing, honestly, I think the blow up between Zelensky and Trump and everybody was kind of staged. That's remains to be seen. Honestly, I think the only way to get Europe to kind of foot the bill for something that's happening in their backyard rather than us footing the bill. This is my 2 cents. This is, you know, honestly, it's basically we have to rage quit in order to make it very evident we're not spending any more money on it. That's basically what we have to do. And Europe's too stupid to know better, and they'll just pay for it anyway, because it is what it is. Let's see here. Yeah, Warsaw, you bring up a good point about moving from state to state. Yeah, I mean, realistically, we're only one federal ban away from, losing everything entirely. And the reason why I say that is because we haven't had the Supreme Court, rule on it, whether assault weapons are actual arms that are protected by the Constitution. We all know. But basically, the Supreme Court has yet to rule on it, so we're just one screwy election away from losing our gun rights. And realistically speaking, unless the Supreme Court actually picks up one of these cases and actually does something with it, I'm not going to hold my breath. Honestly, at this point, I have had enough of listening to the other YouTubers that are reporting on the issues, just because I'm just looking at the dockets, and I really don't need 20 updates from 15 different creators on the same issue 20 times a day, just because they want to make clickbait titles. Not all of them are that way, but I am pulling away from all of them just because it's kind of like people that listen to Alex Jones. In the past, I knew a lot of people who used to listen to Alex Jones, and every day they would listen, and they would get so worked up, so excited, so stressed out about it. And it's like, dude, there's literally nothing you can do about it. Just take a step back, go walk your dog, do something else, because it would bring your anxiety levels up so high that you couldn't really do anything other than just panic about it all day. And I see people that are on the left that I know that, we all know these people. It's just, these people are freaking out. I mean, there were people on the right that freaked out during Biden and everything. And it's like, look, we all know it's not the end of the world. We're going to make it through it. But, the thing is, it's just going to be a little wonky here for a little bit. But anyway, I'm just getting in the weeds there. CYKA. Anyway, I saw the blow up between Trump and Zelensky and Vance and all them, and honestly, that could have been handled a little bit more adult-like. I mean, unfortunately, there weren't. I really firmly believe that there isn't an adult one in that room. When they were all in the Oval Office, because Zelensky did thank the American people. He's thanked the American people for all the money that we've given them. Not we, Congress, or the President Biden and everybody, because I had no say in it. I didn't tell my congressman to send money over there. I actually told them the opposite, quite opposite. But that's neither here nor there. He has thanked us, but the way the conversation devolved, it's just. It was unprofessional for everybody, and frankly, frankly, you're going to a business meeting, Zelensky, get a suit on. You know, make yourself look presentable. He's not a man of the people. He's not out there in the trenches. He's just a political douchebag. I mean, you don't believe me? Look at him in the past. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Perdue. You had a comment here. I'm trying to get back to it. He says, I'm forever until the end of the world grateful to you and for helping me in the FEG Mac fiasco. Thank you. Dude, no, that's not a problem. You know, the thing is, when you want to report on something honestly, you have to actually tell the truth. And a lot of the guys out there weren't telling the truth. Not only that, but I mean, you know, and this is just stuff that gives me less faith in the gun community, because they're just as stupid as a lot of the other people. You know, I'm saying that tongue in cheek. Basically, if you're unwilling to go out there and vet your sources, actually do the legwork, actually get out there and actually verify what you're seeing. Dude, I went through page by page by page, reply, emails, all sorts of shit to get to the bottom of what actually happened during the HD18 fiasco. And it was a mess. And, you know, I feel like I reported on that very honestly. Those who were involved in helping with that, you know, a couple of them are in the viewing audience tonight. You know, the thanks goes to them too, because it wasn't just me on that. All I was doing was, I did a lot of the legwork, but I can't scour the whole internet looking for stuff. But just remember, you know, we can't all find Shia LaBeouf's flag by ourselves. It takes a team effort there, guys. So apologize. I'm still getting over whatever I had there a couple of weeks ago. So is what it is. At least I'm not coughing as much. Guns and Blades, what's happening, buddy? I've been catching a lot of your stuff more often. YouTube's actually, when you're posting stuff, YouTube is actually, well, I don't know about like super recently. The last thing I saw was like 2 or 3 weeks ago that you posted, but YouTube's actually, you know, showing me stuff of people that I've actually subscribed to. It's crazy, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool, you know, seeing people that actually I subscribe to actually get recommended to me, which it's quite interesting, you know, that YouTube has gone years not recommending things that I am clearly interested in, but, you know, is what it is. I need to get some cars that have like PBR or you know, Miller Lite, you know, stuff like that. You know, from like the 80s and stuff. I found this one the other day. This one's pretty cool. Clearly it doesn't care to... that one's a ginger ale car. But, you know, isn't Mullet Day coming up? Actually, you know what? I was talking with one of my buddies, and there's an event in Missouri. I forget the name of it. It's been so busy. I don't. Clash Bash, I think. I don't know. I forget the name of it. But anyway, it's in Missouri. It's a couple months from now, I think. Might be something that would be cool to go to. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go to it specifically. It'd be nice, but unfortunately, that time of year, I'm stuck on the river. Like right now is my big push to, you know, get sturgeon time of the river. So, you know, it just kind of is what it is. But anyway, you know, in an effort to, you know, get subscribers off the channel that, you know, aren't really active, I guess you could say. I've got nearly 9,000 or 10,000 subs, and, you know, I only get like 100 views. So, you know, it's, you 100 views per video, and barely anybody comments, that sort of thing. So I'm like trying to, I don't know. I know why some people joined the channel, and I'm trying to fend them off the channel. So I'm not gonna do live streams, sensationalism, shit like that. I just want to just come in here and hang out with you guys, maybe talk some shit. And Night Strike made a comment the other day. I should do some stuff with some of my Gundams and stuff. Just do some build videos, or talk about, or like do a live stream where I'm doing a build, and we just talk whatever comes up. And I think that's where we're gonna go with the channel. A lot of people didn't really like the B-roll that I kept putting up, but it's I could just let the channel just stagnate and die. I mean, that's one thing, but I'm not really interested in doing that. YouTube still got the channel monetized, so if they're not interested in demonetizing the channel, and I guess I'll just monopolize on that a little bit, right? I mean, you guys would too, right? I mean, even if I'm getting like 3 cents off a video, it's 3 cents I didn't have, But I've got other channels too, so that I'm working on as well, and I'm getting successful on those too. So it's not like the end of the world. It's just rather interesting. But anyway, let me see here. Kevin Gates, I'm here. What's happening, buddy? And the beautiful thing is when a lot of people that haven't commented in a while pop up, especially when they get a recommendation, because YouTube, by the grace of the YouTube gods, they decide to bestow upon yeah, exactly, I remember what's monetized. Bestow upon my subscribers the gift of, hey, Zeke is live right now. What would you like to do? Would you like to watch or ignore? I don't care if you come back later and watch later. It's not, I mean, you guys have things to do. It's just no big deal. But I mean, the big thing for me is, just I've got so many subs that are completely useless to the cause. They'll never watch another video. They came in during the point in time where no, Mark. I did not get banished to Shadow Realm. A couple of things happened. Illinois banned assault weapons, and YouTube and I got into a big tiff, and I pulled all my gun content. I mean, all my live streams are still there. They're just unlisted. I might put them back up, as time goes on, but or I'll do an unlisted playlist. I'll put a playlist up on my main channel, or on the channel homepage, that's just unlisted unlisted live streams, and then you guys can go back there and watch them at your leisure or whatever. But I mean, I was actually surprised. I mean, I got quite a bit of view duration and everything off the last live stream. Now, as far as what I've been doing, where I've been at, I've just been kind of chilling out. I mean, there's not really much I can do in my situation. I mean, it's just kind of, it is what it is. I mean, it's really insane the amount of. I mean, I could have moved out of Illinois long ago, yes, but up until the point that the way they passed the assault weapon ban was against every regulation and law that Illinois had for passing a bill. So on that merit, it's unconstitutional to the state of Illinois, but nobody seems to care about that aspect, which I'm not overly butthurt about that, because honestly, if they were going to go that direction, they could get the law thrown out that way, and then Illinois would have assault weapons back, but then they would just turn around and pass something else just as arbitrary, It wouldn't fix the situation in other states. It wouldn't resolve anything really, and everybody would be in the same situation that they still are now. So, the situation that I'm in is not going to be any better. Let's say, in 4 years, from now, or 3 years and 11 months, or whatever, you guys know what I mean. In a little over 3 years from now, when the next president is elected, if they happen to be somebody that says that they are, wanting to preserve freedom, they come in, they convince Congress and everybody to ban assault weapons. They go through a ban. The Supreme Court is still sitting on their feet. Would not surprise me in the least. And then, we're all in a situation, so regardless if I say I wanted to move or what have you, the situation may not be any better than what I'm in right now. Yeah. It's just one big cat fit. Yeah, exactly. Perdubi, thoughts on force reset triggers? I believe that's what you're talking about, the acronym, and the insane number of copycat manufacturers. Honestly, I think with the force reset triggers, I think that they're lucky for now. That basically, I feel like that part of the industry is going to get regulated out by Congress or something. I feel like that's going to end up getting, because it's like low hanging fruit. I understand the ATF already tried to do something with it, and then they got their butt handed to them. But the thing is I mean, it's not set in stone. Not that I understand it to be set in stone. That they're protected arms, which I would. How could you not find an FRT to be a protected arm, or how could you find a protected arm in an FRT, but not an assault weapon ban or an assault weapon? But you guys kind of pick up what I'm laying down there. I don't know. Is what it is, but I think it's low hanging fruit. I'm not really interested per se in the forced reset triggers. I know they're cool. They're a cool gimmick. Yeah, I don't know how to bump fire, so it's not really that critical to me. Personally, I there's a lot of variance in a lot of the designs of them. One doesn't necessarily function the same way the others do. From a safety standpoint, you can take a pretty safe firearm and turn it into a pile of junk that's completely unsafe to handle in a pretty big hurry with one of them. Especially if the installer doesn't know what they're doing, which more times than not, that's going to be something you're going to find. Here's the other thing. The ATF, Doge is going through and cleaning house with everybody, but it's like ruling through executive, right? Doing executive orders and stuff. A lot of people don't understand what executive orders actually do. Some of them do get carried over from the previous presidency, but a lot of cases, what you'll find is the previous administration's, or the incoming administration basically throws out all of the executive orders that they don't like, and then you're back at square one. So it's a half-assed way of governing. So when Trump came in and did all these executive actions, it's really a nothing burger to me. I understand, he's got to make his constituents happy. He's doing a pretty good job of that, I believe. But at the same time, that's not how you run a country. That's not how you that's not how you take a situation and actually fix the problem. All that does is push that problem a handful of years down the road. And realistically speaking, the only reason why Trump really got in this time was because everybody was so. I mean, realistically, just show of hands, who was running the country the last 4 years? Anybody? It wasn't Kamala Harris. It wasn't Joe Biden. Who was it? I mean, that's the thing. It was just weekend at It was literally weekend at Bernie's, and a lot of my friends that are lefties, and I'm saying that in a joking manner. Yeah, Obama. Yeah, and I wouldn't disagree with that at all. A lot of my lefty friends, they were upset because everything that Biden would do and say was basically making them into a laughing stock. And, I mean, they wouldn't admit it publicly, obviously. But, for the most part, various situations, basically what you end up with is a situation where people really are disgusted. And the thing that I find fascinating is, for the exception of the people that refuse to see either one way or the other, we can all get along. Okay, everybody knows that we can all get along. We can all find a compromise. Everybody has ridden in a car together, and everybody has gotten into a situation where, hey, I don't like this radio station. Can you turn the music down a little bit? And, we kind of capitulate and, turn the music down, or we change the channel to something a little bit more palatable. I understand not everybody wants to listen to salsa music all the time. Personally, I do, but, yeah, Guns and Blades, exactly. He just wants to build his own cans legally, make mag lights, and free plugs great. Yeah, exactly. Free plugs. Yeah. It's. I mean, government is supposed to be keep it simple, stupid. I mean, I have. I mean, the way the system is set up right now, it is 100% impossible to live your daily life without committing, a handful of felonies, without even knowing it. It's like, what is in the law? And you can't even fight it. You don't even know. It's like capital gains tax on cars and stuff. It's like, this is crazy, and man, I'd hate to be rich, to be quite honest. I mean, there's so many taxes that you got to put up with, and I mean, I understand, you get to a point where you get so much money, and you get so much money, and then the interest and everything outruns all the taxes you're paying. But realistically speaking, it'd be my luck where I would be just rich enough to be rich, but still poor enough to be taxed into oblivion. So it just is what it is. But yeah, let's see here. I'm only gonna be streaming here for a little bit. The Hughes Amendment will go away. Yeah, I can see that going away. Yep. Anyway, I'm only gonna be streaming here for another few minutes. So, what's happening, Scott? All right, Scott's here. I just wanted to make sure I waited until Scott got in to see you guys later. I'm just joking. I'll go for a couple more minutes, but no, but basically, yeah, no, Scott. I'll tell you what. You just missed it. I told everybody, how much gold was actually in Fort Knox, and we learned how to fix world hunger and everything, and you just missed it. So sorry, bud, but there's still any. No. Yeah, the thing I find fascinating is, I want to believe that not every conspiracy theory is. Oh my goodness, yeah. Scott, could you tell the U.S. AK manufacturers how to actually make a good AK? I have, and one of them I cost a lot of money to tell them, and they kind of got it, but whatever. But anyway, and I didn't get paid it, but it did cost them money trying to figure that out. But anyway, well, at least all their guns are safer. But but anyway, that being said, honestly, all these people that build AKs know what they're doing nowadays, and they don't need people like me who actually have experience in fucking them up and actually learning them, fixing them, telling you how to make them out of the right goddamn metal, that shit. They don't need people like me. They got high paid executives in a boardroom that tell you exactly what to do, and they've got plenty of high paid YouTubers that will review their shit for whatever they're paying them, to make sure that there are plenty of junk AKs out there in the market. And I hate to say this, a lot of the mom and pop AKs are not much better than some of the junk you see on the shelf from some of these manufacturers. I hear Pioneer's still making guns, or they were up until recently. Those aren't good guns either, and they aren't even American. Scott, that actually leads me down another rabbit hole. What is it with Poland and not being able to make a straight rifle? They have made straight rifles for years. They used to be known as the Cat. I know why this is happening, but on numerous occasions, and years ago and recently, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name. This is how long I've been kind of thinking about other things and doing other things. I can't even remember the variation. It's not the Tonto, it's the one after the Tonto. But anyway, the Breel. The Breel, the actual Breel made for the Polish military, those things are straight, those are rock solid. The Tontos, usually rock solid, beautiful guns. Every Polish AKM ever made, pretty much. Straight, 100% gorgeous, beautiful. The best, the Cadillac of AKs. We're talking about, Europe, but, when we're comparing to, like, East Germany and stuff like that. Hungary's a good second on that, but anyway, I'm getting to the weeds. Why am I seeing so many Bereals with crooked-ass barrels? Crooked-ass barrels, crooked rear sight blocks, crooked front sight blocks, crooked gas blocks. It's like, okay, I completely understand, you're jamming these together in a war factory in Romania. You just, gulagged all of your good machinists. I don't think Poland has done that for a long time. What is wrong with these? Why is it? I understand that they're supposedly not made in the same factory as the military rifles, which, that is what it is. But come on, guys. I mean, just because they're going to get exported to the U.S. and shipped on the longboat over, and it's going to be months before somebody opens one up, and most people are too stupid. They're like, oh my gosh, it's a collector's item. I got to keep it in mint condition. Which, just between you and I, guys, the AK community is a lot like the Corvette community, okay? There are millions of these damn things out there, right? Not quite as many with Corvettes, but there are millions of these things out there. It's like the Bakelite magazines. They're garbage magazines. They literally fill potholes with them when their usefulness is over. It's just, people put so much worth in these things, and it's unfortunate, a lot of these people, they find out second, third, and fourth hand. It's like all the Chinese, the junk ones that were coming in late, because it's your secondary safe place. Yes, exactly. But anyway, you got all these people, they're Chinese AKs, for example. There were a lot of turds that came in the late in the game. And a lot of people found that out the hard way when they replaced the trigger group. which is a really nice trigger group. The Chinese trigger group is a fine trigger group. Big giveaway on them is if it's got a notched hammer, you know, the story time, kids. If the hammer of your Chinese AK looks like this, don't replace it. This right here, when it sits on the bolt face or the aft part of the bolt, you know, this is the bolt here, right? This is the firing pin. What happens? These are hardness, or the hardness of these is soft enough where it's not going to damage this. So if you pop one, you know, let's say you pop a Tapco G2 in there, what's going to end up happening is you're going to mushroom the back end of that. And yeah, I got to put my lab coat on. My lab coat is in the garage. But anyway, basically what ends up happening is it will mash the back of that bolt so hard that you'll think that the bolt was not even hardness test, or, you know, wasn't even heat treated, which everything, yeah, exactly. Gotta teach us proper. Basically what ends up happening is you have a situation where the metallurgy of these parts is just right to where it's not going to damage each other, but you put that hard, super hard Tapco G2 in there and it just disintegrates it. Well, thankfully the Tapco G2 is not a thing anymore, and a lot of these Chinese AKs aren't really in circulation. Occasionally they'll pop up. Believe it or not, I'm still actually you know, out there. I'm actually, you know, popping into forums and everything, you know, just kind of paying attention, lurking and stuff, you know, just making sure I'm not completely out of the loop. But, you know, you got situations like that, you know, and I'm not interested in getting on forums and, you know, spending a lot of time in forums and answering people's emails. If they want actual advice on AKs, and they can seek me out and ask me. I'm not going to go put everybody's fires out. I've already tried that. You know, I've tried helping people in the past, and, you know, people know me well enough to recommend me, you know, and, you know, I'm not going to go seeking out people to help, basically. That's what it is. I've got more things I'm doing, so let's see here. Yeah, at this point, Scott says, at this point, unless you're doing a kit build, the only one I'll recommend is a Galil Ace. Now, that right there, I will say a kit build done by you. You know what I'm saying? If you know who's doing it, you know, you trust the person doing it, you know, yeah. See here, Scott. Apparently Riley's trunnions are soft as shit now. As long as they don't have 5.56 barrels in them. Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's been a few years since I've been in it. Every Riley I have, I've got no Rileys. I have no AKs. You guys know that. But every Riley that I did have was a stand-up rifle. I can't say anything to the new ones because I haven't handled one in a while. You know, and I if they're soft, it might be worth finding one and checking one out. You know, and all it is I got a buddy that actually has a machine shop that can actually test that. So let's see here. Let's see here. Scott says he picked up an SGL 3161 from my local out of his personal collection. It hurt cost wise, but well worth knowing what I got. Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing, you know. No, Zeniko got banned. Can't say anything yet, but it's gonna piss off a whole fuck ton of people in between. Oh yeah. I mean it's yeah. Zeniko, I love it. I'm up to date on a lot of the gossip too. It's just I don't ever get on and talk about any of it. I don't, I just kind of stay to my own, just kind of stay in my own corner here. Let's see here. Check out the M26 lemon grenade on YouTube. He just did a video, and he definitely knows what he's talking about. I'll have to check him out. A lot of times, when I'm not defending anybody, but a lot of times when you have situations like that, you'll have a batch of bad rifles. So that's the only bad thing, because a lot of times you're doing like a whole tray of trunnions at the same time. It's like receivers. I have had 100% hardened receivers. Well, fuck it. From Poland. Supposedly heat treated from Poland. That were actually like almost to the point where they were so soft that basically they may as well not have been heat treated. The way they batch heat treat some of them things, if it's on the edge of the oven or the oven was just not at the right temperature, your heat treat's junk. But unfortunately, that wouldn't be the only one. And when I made some phone calls, when I found that out, I made some phone calls. Had a couple other people with those receivers test them, and they were also soft. Not everyone they had, but most of them that they had were soft, which is very interesting. And I found that out years ago, but I also found out that there's a good grace period on the receivers and everything. Realistically, there's only a few places on the receivers, and this is looking at like historical documents, actual machine gun testing, or the testing of these rifles in the field and everything. Realistically, the wear areas are the only thing you really need to heat treat. It's kind of, it does improve longevity if you heat treat the whole thing, but if nothing else, your ejector and your access pin holes, those are the most critical on an AK. So a lot of the guys that just did spot heat treating weren't too far off. I had a spot heat treated AK that, I had thousands and thousands of rounds through that dang thing, and it ran great and never had an issue with the receiver, other than I knew it was a soft receiver. But let's see here. M26 Lemon is douchey. Why he shuts off comments makes him kind of dicey to me. He's definitely a douche, but he doesn't know what he's talking. He does know what he's talking about. Personally, I've dealt with a lot of bullshit, from chimpanzees in the comment section, acting up in the comment section. If somebody's being disrespectful, the only thing you can do or should do is censor that. But why you would shut your comment section off basically tells me that you're not willing to defend yourself, to be quite honest. But I'll have to check this guy out just to see what he's about. But it would be very interesting to. I'll withhold judgment. Oh, dude, one of my buddies picked one up. Okay, Mac 90. Okay, all right. Yeah, one of my buddies picked up a Mac 90. It wasn't for $700, but oh no. Yeah. You can always torch the receiver and get a new one. If the optics, I know exactly what one you're talking about. It mounts to the access pins, and it just, man, that sucks. That's heartbreaking. I passed on one that was like that too. M26 got doxxed. Yeah, well, it's not that hard to get doxxed these days. Yeah, it is what it is. But still, once you've been doxxed, it's just too late. That being said, but yeah, I'll check him out. I'll evaluate him with a non-biased approach, but you know, just see what he's talking about. But worst case scenario, you guys know that I'm not above tracking rifles down to get them tested, so that wouldn't be too hard. I know a couple of people that are actually vendors for Riley, so I can pop in there and I can just give Riley a call, see if see what's going on. They're usually pretty honest with me, you know. And honestly, if oh, that sucks. That sucks. The optics mount on the axis pins, man. That's like the most old school way that, you know, they used to mount optics on AKs. Another way was they would weld a rail on top of the dust cover. Thankfully, it was mostly just Chinese AKs, and it just was ugly as all get out. Nah, but anyway, yeah. But yeah, no. If that's the case with Riley, then that sucks. Because I mean, you know, the really crappy thing about that, and this is just speaking in a general sense. You know, I'm not going to defend not Riley, but I'm not going to defend Century. Tell you, you know, they've got the greatest rifle on the planet. But I can say that most of their Raz 47s are still in the hands of the people that bought them. You know. Oh yeah, Riley's not been like the pinnacle of pretty rifles, and frankly, the AK community is a quite fickle, for no reason, community. But you know, those are my 2 cents on that. Every Riley that I've come across has got visible machining marks. Very well within their price range for their grittiness. But anyway, yeah, that being said, I'm losing my voice as we speak, guys. I don't know if you guys can kind of see me running out of steam here. But anyway, I don't have anything to drink out here, so man. But anyway, well, besides that stuff, anyway, let me get back to the Century thing. I was talking about Centuries. You know, like the Raz 47s. You know, a lot of people that owned them when they were new still have them, and the problem is, you know, a lot of these things, they, you know, that's like I said with the Chinese thing. A lot of them, you're not going to be able to come across them until, or you're not going to be. The problem's not going to present itself until hundreds of rounds in, and you know, with the Tapco triggers, you know, eating the tail of the bolt carrier situation. You know, a lot of people, you know, they have washer 10s that have that original G2 trigger group installed, and the tail of their bolt carrier is not chewed up. And they're like, oh, it doesn't do it to mine. Well, get a few 100,000, or you know, get a few hundred more rounds in there. I mean, I picked up a washer 10 that had 10,000 rounds that I knew for sure was through it, and it had chewed that tail so bad that it was almost shearing itself when it went into the recoil spring assembly, and that's a lot. That's a lot of mashing, right? Which, you know, it's like a soft front trunnion. I mean, frankly, I'd rather have soft than too hard, because too hard, you know, you get to catastrophic failure in different ways. But I mean, you know, sometimes, fortunately, you just have a case rupture. But you know, with the soft trunnion, it just kind of goos itself back. But yeah, I mean, you know, the only bad thing is, you know, everybody's liable to make a screw up, but the thing that I find fascinating is, oh yeah, that's something I found out long ago. Scott, yeah, hang on, let me finish my thought. I'll touch on that. But I find it fascinating that American companies, and I'm talking in a general sense, they get jumped on, and the same atrocities that can be and have been perpetrated by foreign manufacturers don't get the same kind of treatment, because they're foreign manufacturers. It's like, the Polish stuff and, the washer 10s and stuff, that came in the original ones. Understandably, Century Monkeys, screwed up a lot of them guns, and that was not Romania's fault. But, there was a lot of stuff that Romania did, in the first, several years on them things that made them absolutely garbage rifles to even own. And, they're out there. There's millions of them things out there. But, I don't know. But anyway, I digress. A lot of people in the community, rather than wanting to help, or a company shouldn't need to be helped through, right? But hey, I got a problem. This is a problem. I'm noticing this. Rather than that, the community is more liable to go and just bash and just tell everybody this is a piece of junk. This is a piece of junk. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, that's okay. Maybe yours is. But, are the 50 others, the 50,000 of them, the other ones that are out there, are they junk? It's kind of like the barrel pin on the Visca. You guys remember that? I took my Sega and I popped the barrel pin out with a hammer and a punch. And it's like, oh my gosh. And what was the community saying when that came out? They were saying, and they were saying this to the contrary of machinists, people that have been working in machinery their entire lives that knew what I know, and instead of using rational common sense, they would just jump on the bandwagon and mouth breather themselves through the brigade. It's like, okay, I don't know the Visca well enough. I know a few people have had a few thousand rounds to them, and they're not that bad. I'm like, dude, the barrel pin, you can knock a barrel pin. I'm like, I have the same plastic barrel out back. I can show you guys if we have to. I mean, I'll go get a Visca and we'll pop the barrel pin out of it. And then suddenly the barrel pin disappears. It's like, really? That's, rather than encouraging companies to fix themselves, all the community does is, make it where it's impossible for a company to fix itself because the community doesn't give a shit. It's like, no, we're not going to give you any second chances. You got junk stuff. It's like, okay, well, if half of you guys are driving Dodges, any sort of Chrysler product, or you guys like Mitsubishis, then you're okay with junk, and you've been driving junk for years. Or they have a car that just is constantly breaking down on them. They don't say, oh, well, I'm not going to buy a Chevy anymore. I'm not going to do this or that, they just, oh, my grandpa was a Ford guy, and I'm a Ford guy, it's just... people are brainwashed whether they realize it or not, and it's really annoying. I'm not trying to say I'm cynical in my older age, but I'm getting to the point where it's like, like Robsky says, enough of the bullshit. Why is this a problem? Because ultimately that's what we should, as a community, be trying to figure out. Why is this a problem? Is the guy that's telling me that this is a unfixable problem, is this guy just some mouth breather that is just making content that doesn't know what he's talking about? Or is this guy somebody who actually has a background, or has actually studied, or actually asked somebody that actually knows what they're talking about, rather than typing it on Google search and letting the Google AI populate his answer? And honestly, that's kind of what I feel like a lot of people do these days. It's I don't know. My faith in humanity is not quite as great as it once used to be. Yeah, exactly. I am old. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough. Let's see here. Sam 5s with 762 gas ports beating themselves to death. Yeah, exactly. You know, and the bad thing about stuff like that, the bad thing about that is the way that the one thing that I like about Riley, I'm not sure. I can't. I'm speaking of what I have experienced with Riley, and people who have experienced that have interacted with me that have had problems with Riley and had to have them fixed. Riley will take care of it. They will. I mean, you can call them up and talk to the dudes for hours. Send them your rifle, and they will fix it. You know, that's why the thing has a warranty, right? But at the same time, it's like people don't understand that, you know, if somebody's willing to, you know, fix their mistake, you know, exactly. Okay, let's put it this way. It's like IO Inc., right? IO Inc. would get a rifle and they would put a new buffer pad in it and then ship it back to the previous owner. Just is what it is. It is what it is. I owned an IO Inc. at one point. I mean, you know, when I took it apart, I thought for sure things were going to be messed up on it. Things weren't that bad. I mean, everything was really soft on it. I mean, it was butter soft. I mean, the trunnion, you could not get a softer trunnion. It was a cast trunnion. You know, everything was cast on that rifle, for the exception of the bolt. The bolts were always forged on those. Those were not, at least from what I have been told by people that were close in that organization. The bolt was always forged. So, well, and you know that's the thing. You know, it's like Scott says he had a 74, 2,500 rounds through it. Never had a problem. You know, the thing is, you know, a situation like that, you know, you get a bad batch of parts. I know they don't make their, well, I'm saying this from what I experienced in the past. From what I knew in the past, they did not make their trunnions in-house. They had a subcontractor do that. That subcontractor does heat treating for a lot of different companies, right? You know, they're not just Riley. Okay, so they're not unfamiliar with what to do in that situation. That being said, you know, just like in the auto industry, you're going to have a situation. It's just bound to happen where somebody's going to have a bad part. You know, somebody's going to have. You know, that's why we have recalls on things. You know, things are gonna be not always peachy keen. You know, all it takes is one bad heat treat, and that's it. You know, what a lot of people don't understand is when they heat treat stuff. I used to work at a heat treat facility. They get these baskets most times, and then everything they're heat treating. You know, pretend these are all the same things. You know, we're heat treating all these trunnions here. You know, we just throw them in, you know, just make sure they're all kind of spread out a little bit. They put them on the conveyor, and the conveyor runs them right through. And they're in the conveyor long enough for the oven to heat treat the part. And then by the time the heat treat oven gets through, you know, doing their thing, depending on if there's an oil quench or something, and after that, and they just dump them into a vat of oil or what. You know, depending on what they need, but, you know, typically the conveyor rolls them out. They're done heat treating. They cool off. Bada bing, bada boom. All it takes is for a bad coil in that oven, and your heat treat's fucked up. And the bad thing is, if you're not doing QC, I mean, they don't QC every one of them, right? A lot of people think, oh, well, you know, you should be doing. If you're cranking out hundreds of these parts, you know, you're not going to QC all of them. Or, heaven forbid, you know, you put the basket in there fucked up, and the part over here is closer to, you know, the side that doesn't have as much heat, and everything on this side of the, you know, everything on this side of the basket's fine, but everything on this side of the basket's, you know, whatever. And then you go to heat, you know, test it, you know, just to do a Rockwell test on it afterwards. the ones on the other side of the basket are good, and the ones on the other side of the basket, you didn't test them because you tested the one that's on the other side of the basket. You're not thinking, and then unfortunately, you only find out when it becomes a problem. And the other thing is, and keeping in mind, I haven't seen these videos, but the one issue that you're going to come across is when you have a heat treat issue, do you actually have a heat treat issue? Okay, it could be something else. Could be hot ammo, right? I'm not. The only way you can verify it is if you take it and Rockwell test it right then and there. And then even then, if it's a YouTuber, honestly, I mean, somebody like myself, I know I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. The problem you're gonna run into is if there is some sort of fuckery happening, then you have the potential for an uncalibrated machine or the test being done improperly. You may have a Rockwell tester in the house or whatever. It is what it is, but there's a lot that goes on with it, and if you want to say that, and I'm not trying to defend soft trunnions or anything, but what I'm saying is, from a viewer's perspective, I'm going to suspect ammo, and then I'm going to suspect the rifle. But if I suspect a rifle, I'm going to suspect, is the bolt too hard? Is it potentially overgassed? Or were there stress fractures? Or what else is going on? What else is going on to contribute, that could contribute to this, that could not be the trunnion. If it is the trunnion, then great, awesome. But you can't just test the trunnion. Kind of like in the Chinese bolt situation. The bolts were soft, but they weren't so soft that it was going to be a problem with that hammer, with that fire control group. And a lot of people, they don't understand. There's a lot that goes into the sauce. They be quick to blame something, but what else goes into it, and then now I'm gonna have to check those videos out and just kind of see what's going on. I'll probably pop on here in a week or so and give my thoughts on the situation. It'd be very interesting to find out what batch number that rifle is, what serial number it is, maybe try to find a sister of that rifle. And if there is a situation where there's soft parts, one of its sisters might have a soft trunnion too. It may not. It's like I said, if it's just a box full of parts, it could be one rifle out of 1,000. It could be something like that, and it's just, you're gonna get lost in the weeds. But anyway, guys. So how's everybody else doing? I mean, you can tell I'm kind of passionate about fact-finding missions, guys. I mean, you guys, how many videos have you guys? I just, there's so many people that would just take poorly researched information and just run with it. And I'm not calling anybody here anything. I'm not trying to say that anybody here is, poorly researching something. Just, I'm using a thing and I'm making a potential example out of it. And I'm segueing it back to the hammers and stuff. But anyway, that being said, I'm not defending anybody. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm just, it just is what it is. But anyway, guys, so what are everybody's thoughts on what I've discussed here? Just kind of throw them in here. I'm going to run my train around the track. My insistence on no offense is making me suspicious. I intend to offend. But I just want everybody that would be offended to be offended for the right reasons, not because of some manufactured reason. Let's see here. Warsaw says, me, honestly, I'm always skeptical when you want to know the truth rather than what you're told on the internet. You're right on that. You know, and that's one reason why I would go into the weeds on just stupid stuff on this channel. You know, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm wasting time, you know, trying to explain things. You know, it's like, I don't know. You know, and the thing is, you know, just kind of bouncing off of a previous comment, you know, my objective in life isn't for you to like me. You know, I'm not paying you guys to be here to like me. You know, if you guys want to come here and yeah, Mark, heck yeah. But anyway, if people want to come here and disagree with me, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm not gonna run and scream and cower. You know, I mean, if they're wrong, I mean, if the person disagreeing with me is wrong, that's on them. You know, if they refuse to seek out the truth. See here, Scott says, when you see the guns and see the wear patterns on them, yes, they could be manipulated at a point, but at some point with multiple different videos, you have got to question something's going on. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, when people, it's like me when that one Riley, the tactical version that I had, the Trunnion started to walk out. When that happened, when that happened to me, I was documenting everything that was going on. When, you know, and I told Riley, I was like, look, this ain't going to look good for you, but something's going on here. And the rifle wasn't overgassed, but what ended up happening is there was something wrong with those rivets. And you know, it was just a transition gun. But anyway, the transition, basically they took and they went through their rivets and they tested them and they did some shear testing and everything, and there was a bad batch of rivets, and it was just a fluke, and they were mixed in with good rivets. They threw them all away and got all new stuff. So that's, you know, thankfully during that point in time they weren't on thousands of rifles a week, you know, sending them out of the door. So I don't know where they're at right now as far as production. I can't imagine it's too crazy because not many people are buying guns right now. But, you know, that being said, hopefully it's not too crazy that they can't get a handle on it. And hopefully it's only a couple rifles. Because I highly doubt if there is a problem of that magnitude that it's only one rifle. You know, and that's the thing. What's happening, Matt Morrison? Let's see here. Warsaw says, my last comment, I'll say I'd trust... let's see here. Like that font on this thing is like this small, and I'm trying to read like, you know, legal print on the back of a toaster. Let's see. My last comment. I will say this. I'd trust over any gun tuber or creator with solid info they're giving. I'd trust a reporter like Greg Bishop. Yeah, Greg Bishop's all right. He's just a reporter, though. A good reporter doesn't give his opinion. He gives you all the facts, allows you to, you know, make your own opinion based on the fact farm that he has harvested for you. So, you know, and that's I do like Greg Bishop as well, but anyway, let's see here. Anything? I do appreciate, you know, people in here, you know, like Mark trying to make sure that I'm equally offending everybody rather than just one subgroup of viewers, because let's face it, I want to make sure everybody feels just as bad as the next person. It's like, hey, you bought an early watcher? Man, you must have crooked eyes. You probably got a lazy eye, just you only want Tapco magazines to fit in that gun. Buy yourself a real gun. Oh, you like Chinese AKs? Them things aren't good AKs. They were so soft and yeah. No, they had a rash of junk ones, man. It never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me, man. It's but anyway, yeah. No, I appreciate all you guys hanging out here tonight. I see 9 people in here watching. I'd like to see 9 people in here leaving a comment. 10 people. Hit that like button. Make sure everybody knows that you stopped in to say hi and leave a like. Love me, hate me. It don't really bother me either way. I know the people that like me are going to come in here and they're going to watch the video and they're going to, be able to throw the banter back and forth. I mean, at the end of the day, if you are trying to make people like you, you're doing it entirely wrong. That's something, Matt. Yeah, no, that's a good one. Vepers. Hey, Rupan, what's happening, buddy? Vepers are probably, gosh darn it, yeah, no, I'd be hard pressed to say that that yeah, you can't find a bad one. If you find a bad one, I'd be hard pressed to believe you. Let's see here, Scott says, still got that Romac 2 with bad head spacing. I know I can easily get what I paid for it, just in parts, but eventually I'll have it fixed. Yeah, that's the thing, What was the guy thinking when he head spaced that thing, and it's kind of like the Riley that watching the Goonies. What were you watching me for? The Goonies is way more important than me. Rude, but yeah, dude, it's good stuff. But yeah, nah, man, a lot of the Romanian AKs that were coming in were complete trash, and realistically speaking, I mean, I know a lot of people that have hard-ons for Arsenal, but I mean, I'm a firm believer that an AK is just an AK, right? If it's built to standard, you show me an AKM that's built properly, it's just an AK. Whether it's Romanian or Polish, or Egyptian, Russian, it doesn't matter. They're all going to do the same job. American, there are things that American AKs can do better, and there's a lot that they can do worse. And better. I mean, they can do better by doing better to build the parts, to build the rifle. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be basically making a better imitation of what we have been accustomed to in the form of parts kits, basically. And one reason why I know a lot of people are harsh is because, frankly, we grew up with good stuff. We grew up with good components. Unfortunately, a lot of people that have a lot of experience with kits don't really have the trigger time. A lot of people like the Corvette community, bought it, they sit on it, and the only time it leaves is when that person dies. And most of the really cool stuff that I've ever picked up has been because somebody died that thought they were going to cash out on it. And they bought piles of kits for $90 or $60 or whatever. Barreled kits, full barreled kits for $90. And then now that they're dead, their relative doesn't know what to do with it. And I'm like, meh, whatever. Scott, I'm turning into a meat popsicle on a boat right now. Portland is a few degrees cooler Then Lynn, this boat isn't insulated. Oh my goodness. Well, we got a cool down coming, guys. So it's not quite the end of the world yet. North Carolina and South Carolina have like crazy fires going on. So best of luck to you guys out there if you guys are in that region of the country. Anyway, guys, I've been live for 85 minutes. Make sure you leave a like in the comments, or like the video. I only see 6 likes on here, so make sure you hit the like button. And then leave a comment in the comment section. Rookie numbers, yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, you know, everybody comes in here and we want to just shoot the shit. We forget that thing's even there. But, you know, it is what it is. 18 degrees in New Hampshire. It was 52 degrees where I'm at today. It was really nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. But anyway, guys, I digress. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to do another live stream. I'll pop something up in the comments, or not the comments, but the on my page thing, whatever, the community page. I'll make a post about it. Oh, and just so you guys know, that Cobra, that 289 Cobra that I shared some pictures of on my community page, that's a legit 289 Cobra. That's not a kit car. Boomers when talking about internet stuff. But anyway, yeah, no. Yeah, definitely go down there and check that out. And leave a comment on that. Let everybody know what you think of that thing. That is a legit cool car. I got some video of me opening the hood and everything. And yeah, dude let me touch it. And the only reason why dude let me touch it is because I did not think it was a kit car. I was like, I don't think this is a kit car. And I know that because these wheels are expensive to put on a kit car. And none of your hardware looks like kit car stuff. I said, it's either somebody stole this and made it into a kit car, or you know, made it into somebody, you know. Anyway, there's a huge story behind that car, and I'll make a video about it and post it, you know, later on. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys hanging out and watching the video, listening to me babble on about bullshit for a little while. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. AK related, you guys know where that's at, ZekeZekeShoots.com. As far as help and advice, keep it simple, because I don't have any examples I can readily do to help you guys, because frankly, this is the best I can give you. So make sure that, you know, if you got any problems, you need advice on which way to go, you know, you give me as much information about your problem as humanly possible. Anyway, guys, not a real chicken way. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Maybe if we can even do this one here. Hang on.